Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of Lupinranger vs. Patranger episode 20. This was a big week, obviously, because we got the debut of the 6th Ranger, Lupin / Patren-X. So very exciting. I enjoyed the episode quite a bit. See you later. No. I wanted to start off by talking about, if you've paid attention to any of my other videos, and if you haven't, why? No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, why? But anyway, for real this time. In past videos, either the news videos where I talked about, you know, this guy's announcement, quotes everywhere. I made a joke about starting the 3 quotes a long time ago in a video, and now I do it in real life and people think I'm crazy. Anyway, wow. I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm a minute in the video and I haven't talked about anything. New viewers have already left. I'm so sorry, but why? Anyway, wow, I'm crazy today. So, in past videos, I've talked about just my general thoughts on the concept of this guy. Because initially, we just got pictures, you know, silver, gold, he's a double agent. That's like all we got very first time we got clear pictures and info about this guy. So I've always been a little bit low-key disappointed by him. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Because I think the concept of a double agent was really cool, especially with the way Lupinranger Patranger is now seeing the show. I thought there was really, like, right material for making the suits distinctly different, where you couldn't tell them apart really, and having like the sort of classic 2 dates trope, where you have this character running back and forth between the teams trying to maintain 2 identities. Not to mention silver and gold, I think, are some of the most overused 6th additional Ranger colors. So I was just kind of disappointed all around. Like, I'm like, they're cool suits, they're fine, but like, and they just weren't as cool to me as the main suits and how unique they were, especially since I feel like the hat motif is just kind of smushed onto the X. So to start, I was a little bit disappointed. I still think they should have gone for black and white. I think it would have been a cooler, like, you know, cops and robbers type of deal. I know every time I talk about this, people are like, oh, it's because of the badge colors. I get it. I get it. That's not a neat enough reason for me, though. But the reason I'm talking about this is because even though I still think there was some missed opportunities with the concept, and to be fair, I think we were all wondering how they were going to tackle this given the unique structure of the Sentai. But given all that, I very much enjoyed this, and I think that they set up some good stuff. Again, I'm still always going to be a little bit disappointed. I think I wouldn't have stretched out the 2 dates trope thing for his introduction, because we already have the sort of 2 teams not knowing each other's identities. I think I would have brought him in and maybe had it last for a smaller amount of time, but I think that would have been a cool way to go about it. But that's not what this episode's about. This episode's about this episode that premiered. I mainly wanted to address that because even though my disappointment still stands in a way, I was very pleased with this episode and his introduction, like I said. So, like, it was an interesting way to open it up. There was really no, I wish there was a little bit more build up to it. That would be a build pun if this is a build review. But, you know, like maybe some foreshadowing, unless there was and I missed it, which is totally possible. I'm the dumbest boy in school. But, like, we open with him leaving from France on the train, shows up all hooded, automatically gets me going. Not in that way, but just because I love hoods. That sounds weird. Anyway, watch Luke Cage, it's really good. Anyway, so, wow, that just got weird. So he shows up on the train, immediately encounters a gangler, transforms into Lupin-X, the silver one, which is my favorite of the 2. I have to say, even though I wasn't like, oh my god, they're the best suits, I thought they were cool suits, but they always look better. Like, I'm easy when it comes to Toku suits. Like, even if I'm not a fan, like, when I see the scans and stuff, like, as soon as I see it on screen, like, I'm automatically very endeared to it in most cases, and that was the case here. And silver, to me, just looks a little bit sleeker. I think it just looks really cool. But, you know, he fights the gangler and saves the girl, and the gangler has, like, a double chest. And I don't mean boobs, I just mean like literally double chests for his collection items. And he has a really cool, like, more techie device that unlocks a similar fashion of the Lupinrangers, which is really cool. And then, which I didn't realize, because I didn't read any more information beyond what we mainly knew, but he, you know, I'm glad they didn't try to make it so that he was pretending to be 2 separate Rangers with these very similar suits. Like, he immediately outs himself, full-on identity to both Reds, which are on the bench, because Kairi sees Keijiro reading a newspaper article about this new Phantom Thief, and he outs himself to Kairi first, and basically, you know, not only outs himself as Lupin-X, but that he knows who they are, and then he gets arrested by Keijiro, and when he gets to the police department, he's like, Hilltop's like, oh no, he's one of ours, he's a cop. And so it creates this confusion, because then when the cops go to attack the Gangler when he returns. He transforms into the gold version, and then when the Lupinranger shows up, he's back to silver. And I have to say, even though gold's still my lesser favorite, there's still aspects about it that bother me. It does look really good in show. Like, there's the shot when he first is transforming, and he's got like, it's like a shot of him in the morpher. It looks really good, and like I do kind of like the capiness and some of the white accents. The point is, I like the suits both more than I thought I would. And he can transform back and forth at will. Like, he doesn't have to de-transform and then transform back. He can switch, which makes sense. But I think both of them look good. I do kind of dig his weapon, and I like how he uses it in the mecha, which I'll get to the mecha talking in a second. That's a whole segment called mecha talking. The changer, I really like the concept of it. I love how the little vehicle goes back to him and how he switches it. I love the whole concept. I just think it is kind of fugly. I'm not a huge fan of it. Design-wise, but I am concept-wise. Maybe it'll grow on me, but yeah, just in terms of that. But everything else I quite like. I do quite like his character. I like his demeanor. I definitely see it as a character that could be on the fence. Like, for example, when Ryu Commander first debuted at the beginning of Kyuranger, he was a character where I could see loving or hating him. And sometimes they'll lean one way or the other. But like in this instance, I kind of like his shtick. But I could definitely see if they push it becoming annoying. But for now, I do like him, and I like the interesting dynamic he adds. Interesting dynamic. The word dynamic is ruined because of Goseiger. Every time I say it, I have to say whatever I last said in the dynamic out loud in the Goseiger voice, which is awkward around people that don't know what Toku is. But anyway, I think it's really interesting because, like, basically, he's outed as who he is as Noel to both teams, and they both have seen, I remember the Patrangers have seen, yeah, they've seen he's a double changer, but like, so it's interesting. He's almost in a way at this moment like, kind of like Goody, where he's gonna go back and forth between the two. But when he was at the police station, he talked about how he's actually the one that made the Ranger system, which was really cool. I liked that little detail. I'm sure we're gonna learn more, and I have to say, I really like when they just give us small details of like lore about that, because it enhances the show for me. Like, during Kyuranger and Zyuohger, I really wanted to know a little bit more about the lore and where the powers came from. And setting aside the fact that we found, we know the Size blasters were made and like Ryu Commander's powers were made, we never really found out where the Q-Tamas came from. Like, oh, they're from space! That was it. And with Zyuohger, it was like, it's from the Earth's love, or some nonsense. And here, I mean, we don't know a lot about the Lupin collection, like, other than, it was tied to Arsene Lupin and all that stuff, and that he modified Good Striker. But now we know, because that was one of my bigger questions that I honestly thought would never be answered or be kind of vagued up, which was this guy was involved in creating the Ranger system, which allowed them to transform. Not to mention, it kind of, we might get a more deeper explanation, but I don't necessarily need one, but it explains why the two systems are different, because he's obviously playing both sides, so it makes sense that he would make a system for himself that would have both sides. So there's definitely more to learn there, but I just wanted to state that I'm happy that we got more answers, because it's such a small thing, and maybe it's just a personal thing, but that stuff really enhances the show for me, just knowing a little bit more about the little, like, lore and backstory, and I like that, and I did not expect him to be the one that created it. I think that's really a neat detail, and I get the vibe just from the fact that we know that, and then the fact that he's playing both sides, that I don't know if he's involved with Kyogre. I'm going to call him Kyogre. I'm sure he is, but what I mean is that I don't know if they're friends or enemies or frenemies, but I just get the feeling that both of those characters just see the bigger picture, whereas, like, obviously the Lupin Patrangers know what's going on, but the Patrangers are focused on crime, and the Lupin Rangers are focused on their personal goals, but I get the feeling that characters like Noel and Kyogre, they see the bigger picture of the board, so, like, I think that's why he's obviously going to play both sides, because I don't think it necessarily matters so much, the squabble between the two, and he knows more what's going on. Because, like he states in this one, like, his mission is to recover the Lupin collection. So he's like a cop, but he's also recovering it. He makes the Patrangers believe that he's a double agent, and I'm sure he'll do the same with the Lupins. So I get a feeling that, I don't want it to ever fully happen soon, but I get a feeling that he could be the catalyst to bring them together at various points. I'm still unsure how that, because the show's still called Versus. So if it were up to me, I would wait until maybe the last quarter arc to bring them together where they're always working together, if ever. But I just get the feeling that any times they work together for any capacity, he might be the bridge. I mean, again, this could all be thrown out. This is pure speculation, but it just feels like he knows more about the overall picture and what's important, so that's why he has both systems. But I think it's really cool. It's not exactly what I would have liked to seen, but I think it sets up an interesting dynamic, a nice new energy to bounce off of it. I think the fact that both of them know his civilian form will make it interesting for civilian interactions, because, like, I'm going to assume, until everyone knows who everyone is, that, like, if he's at the cafe with the Patrangers, he'll pretend he doesn't know the Lupinrangers and kind of meet them in secret. I don't know. It opens up a lot of interesting things. Even though it wasn't my ideal, I did really enjoy this episode. I thought it was a strong debut. I kind of wish they would have waited on showing the mecha, because I think they did a good job of pacing that with the normal introductions for the Rangers. But setting that aside, I think it was a pretty well-balanced debut, because it made sense they'd want to show off, quote-unquote, everything that he can do Ranger-wise, because it's a part of the character. And, like, this week felt like it leaned a little more Lupin. Next week will probably lean a little more Pat, kind of like usual. But yeah, very strong debut. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Let me know what you thought. 8.5 for this episode. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe for more reviews and nonsense and all that stuff. And leave a like if you feel so inclined. Maybe I'll just cry to get a like. Maybe not. Probably not. Anyway, Dawson Rider, signing out.